Okay, well, to begin, we have a quick live interview with Voice of America correspondent Jessica Stone to discuss about the latest updates on the current political situation in the U.S., especially regarding Donald Trump being shot and some updates on that. Hello, good morning and good evening, Jessica Stone from Voice of America correspondent. Hello, Jessica.
Hi, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Jessica. From Jakarta, of course. Thank you so much for being here on Starting Point. Now, first, could you tell us what's the latest on Mr. Trump's condition?
Well, Mr. Trump is healthy enough, he believes, to go to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where the Republican National Convention is being held this week, where he will receive the nomination from his party and also unveil his choice for a running mate in the national election. He initially said he was going to delay his arrival by a couple of days to Milwaukee, but he is already on his way, and posting on his website, Truth Social, he said, "Thank you to everyone for your thoughts and prayers yesterday, as it was God alone who prevented the unthinkable from happening. We will fear not, but instead remain resilient in our faith and defiant in the face of wickedness. Our love goes out to the other victims and their families. We pray for the recovery of those who were wounded and hold in our hearts the memory of the citizen who was so horribly killed. In this moment," he says, "it is more important than ever that we stand united and show our true character as Americans, remaining strong and determined and not allowing evil to win. I truly love our country and love you all and look forward to speaking to our great nation this week from Wisconsin."
And also, Jessica, we know that in this horrible shooting incident, it is not only Donald Trump or Mr. Trump, but also there are some victims and some people injured, I believe. Can you give us any updates on that?
Yeah, it's important to point that out, of course, because even though there is a lot of trauma in the American psyche right now at the possibility that a presidential candidate, a former president, could have been killed as an assassination attempt is now being investigated, there were other lives in jeopardy and other lives affected. A former fire chief literally was killed as he attempted to shield his family from the shooter. And he is being remembered today as a very brave man, a very loving man, a very kind man, and certainly someone who was very sacrificial. Two other men, and one in his 50s, the other in his 70s, also in serious condition in the hospital with injuries sustained, according to that shooting. And then, of course, we have plenty of questions, as you can understand, about the suspect in this shooting, who was killed by Secret Service. And he is a 20-year-old man. Matthew Crooks is his name. Authorities say he acted alone. He had an AR-style rifle, which is a semi-automatic rifle that was purchased legally by his father. And at this point, there's no apparent motive, according to the FBI, who is the lead investigator of this assassination attempt. But they did find that he had explosives in his car. And so it does appear that there was potentially a broader plan going on, although we certainly don't have that confirmed, according to authorities at this time.
All right. Now, Jessica, I'm sure, although the people are still processing this is quite a huge traumatic incident, like you mentioned before. But do you think that the conversation will start roll into other more serious issues and much needed to be discussed issues, such as gun control and also about security in presidential campaigns?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's important to point out that we're about an hour past a primetime address by U.S. President Joe Biden. He spent about 6 minutes using a teleprompter, speaking to the nation, really focusing on calling on all American politicians around the country to tone down their rhetoric, to take a beat, and to be much more civil and respectful in their dialogue. He spent the beginning of the remarks talking about President Trump, having spoken to him briefly after the shooting. Then he went on to talk about the history of political violence in the United States and the more recent escalation of that political violence. The husband of the former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, injured by someone looking for her. Gabby Giffords, a sitting congresswoman who was running for re-election in the state of Arizona, and others. The Michigan governor, who had a death threat and a plot against her that was unveiled by the FBI. He said that they can't allow any of this to be normalized, that political violence is never a way to resolve differences, that they need to be resolved at the ballot box, excuse me. And there is an ongoing conversation about where the Secret Service was and why they neglected to post a sniper on that rooftop where the shooter ultimately was found dead. It was about 150 or 180 meters away from the speaking site of the Republican candidate for president. And the Wisconsin governor, who of course is in charge of the security of the Republican National Convention that begins on Monday, he is looking for additional security at that convention, arguing that there should be a broader space around the convention site that does not allow weapons or people with weapons to be in it. President Biden has ordered a security review because there was, according to many analysts and former Secret Service agents, an apparent security breach here. Why wasn't that part of the building secured? Why was it so easy for someone to hit the president with a gun? And there has been a critique because there was a clear line of sight from the shooter to the president. And we've also had many reports, as you may have seen, of rally goers who have talked about seeing the sniper climb up the building and trying to alert local authorities. And of course, those messages didn't get to Secret Service in time for them to act on them. So an investigation has been ordered by the president. An investigation has also been ordered in Congress, congressional investigation. So there's a lot to look into here. But certainly, around these events, I would expect to see additional scrutiny and additional care going on as the safety of both of these candidates is really paramount in keeping the temperature down across the United States for voters.
Well, Jessica, thank you so much again for your insights. It's definitely a critical time, especially from both parties, from Biden's party and Trump's party. And we do send our condolences to the families of the victims and hope for Trump's quick recovery, as well as everything to go smoothly until the election day. Thank you so much. Voice of America correspondent Jessica Stone, thank you.
You bet.